Morning everyone, my name is Karla and you've reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch but also other crafts that I enjoy and a little bit of life thrown in. Today is Sunday, February 5th. It is my FlossTube number 178. I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time finding my channel, I hope that you like what you see and want to hit like and subscribe and all of that stuff and come back every week. I do have a super thanks button on the channel right below in the description box. It's like I think a heart with a $sign in it. You can use that if you really like what you see, if I impart some good information to you and you want to give me a monetary tip. It is not necessary, of course, that anybody do that, but when it happens, it's really good, and that money does go back basically into the channel for mailings and to pay the Zoom cost for my my subscription to Zoom, because I do a at least monthly Zoom meetup. Which this month is going to be on the 18th of February, which is a Saturday, not next week, but the week after, and it will start at 5:30 p.m. my time, which is California. So yeah, I hope to see all you guys there if we have a good time. It's very chill. You can stitch, you can do other things, you can just sit and talk. It's just fun, and I've really enjoyed doing the Zooms and getting to know my Stitchy community through, getting to, meet people. I'm not exactly in real life, but, close. So anyway, welcome again. If this is not your first time, if you are a returning viewer, then thank you so much for coming by. I enjoy getting together with you guys every week so much. It is a highlight of my week to, not necessarily to do the video, but all of the feedback and comments I get definitely is a highlight of my video, of my week. Sorry if I'm a little off today. I have had a very weird week. Yeah, it's, in all the ways, emotionally, physically, mentally, all the ways, it's been just a kind of weird week. It started off obviously last Sunday. I told you guys, Sunday was the anniversary of my mom's passing. She died on January 29th, 2021 from complications of COVID. I do have a video on here back then to kind of explain everything that happened if you're interested. But it's not an unusual thing for that to be kind of a hard day, and it really wasn't that difficult of a day for me. It was just kind of a mellow day, let's put it that way. But then the week progressed, and it was just a weird week. Wednesday, that was baggy. Of course, I got on the video and he's gonna come and talk. Wednesday, I woke up in the morning with a fat lip for no reason. I think I just had kind of like dry mouth or something, and the inside of my lip like rubbed on my tooth or something like that during the night. But I woke up and like half of my mouth was like, I looked like a gargoyle. So it was like, okay, that's interesting. In fact, I did a video, my cat lady box unboxing that evening, and it was mostly gone, but if you know me and are familiar with my face like I am, I still had it, and I look a little weird to myself in that video. It did go away over the course of the day. As I said, it was like a little cut that just was swollen, but that was so weird to wake up with that. And then I spent all day Wednesday with anxiety over, so I don't know if this ever happens to any of you guys. I'm going to assume it does. I don't think I'm unique in pretty much anything. I was extremely anxiety filled about doing something completely normal and completely something that should not be scary, but for whatever reason, it was giving me huge amounts of anxiety until I just did it and got it over with. So what I'm talking about is, this is going to sound so crazy, I did laundry. And I'm sure you're saying, like, what, you don't normally do laundry? I do. But a couple years ago, basically kind of after the pandemic, right before the pandemic, my brother and sister-in-law and I kind of, like, I don't know if reconnected is the right word, but anyway, we got a lot closer, and I started spending a lot of weekends over at their place. And then after my mom died, actually that whole year, we had it as a regular thing. I went over there every other weekend and spent like 2 nights. I would go Friday after work, and I would come home Sunday morning in time to do my video. I mean, I still do that when I go over there, but I'm not doing it as regularly because after the world opened up, you know, they have 3 kids, 2 teenagers, and a younger one, and, you know, life is very busy. And Reagan is a competitive cheerleader, so there's a lot of weekends that in the sort of, I think there's like 2 competition seasons, and yeah, it gets crazy. But anyway, while I was going over there very regularly, they kind of were like, I think the first time was just because I hadn't done laundry here at my apartment for a while, and I was going to be there for the weekend. I'm like, do you mind if I bring a load of laundry to do? And they were like, no. And then I brought it, and they're like, just bring your laundry every time you come over. So I was like, okay, cool. So that's what I was doing. I was taking my laundry every other week over to Erin Stacy's and doing my laundry there, which means I stopped doing laundry here in my apartment complex. So I did that for like 2 years, right? Well, I haven't actually gone over there since before the holidays because they had a trip planned and because of, again, competition season. So, I mean, the laundry situation is getting a little out of control, on top of which they are going to be moving sometime this year. So that laundry source is going to be gone. And I'm like, you know what? I need to start getting used to doing laundry in my apartment again. And you would think that's no big deal, except that they completely changed the system. Like when I moved in, you would buy, they had a machine, and you would put money in the machine and you get the card for the laundry. They changed it to like an online thing, which actually is easier, but you know, it's like one of those things when you are not used to it. I didn't have any idea how it worked. I hadn't been in the laundry room because why would I go in there for like 2 years? So I had to psych myself up for doing this whole thing. On top of which, I went to go into the laundry room to take a look and realized I didn't have the key to the laundry room anymore. So that panicked me for a little bit. And then I found that I had taken all the extra keys that I had and I put them on another ring, and they were still in my purse. They just weren't on my normal everyday key ring. So I did have the key. But that was a whole issue. I had to find the key. And then, so I put together a load of laundry. And the other thing is I live on the 2nd floor in my apartment complex. And as time has gone on, it's difficult for me to go up and down the stairs. I mean, obviously I go up and down the stairs every day to go to work and everything like that, but I don't go up and down the stairs any extra. Like I take my trash out when I go to work because I don't want to go out again in the evening up and down the stairs. So doing laundry is difficult because you have to go up and down the stairs, you know, at least 3 times, right? To take it in and to switch it over and all that kind of stuff. So I got the idea that I would put together a bag of laundry, and I would do it on Wednesdays because I get off work a little bit early on Wednesdays, and I could just go straight from my parking space to the laundry room, put in the laundry, and then I would have to go up and down the stairs one last time, which actually was a good plan. So anyway, but I was getting myself all psyched up about this on Wednesday, and you know, I realized how silly it is. I realized that as soon as I did my laundry, I'm like, that was like so easy. Why was I even stressed? The online payment actually was like super easy, and so yeah, so I did a lot of laundry on Wednesday, but it was causing me so much anxiety. And of course I felt silly about having the anxiety, and I felt even sillier afterwards when the anxiety was over because I had accomplished the goal. But yeah, that was just another thing in my week that that made it a weird week. Thursday was actually the anniversary of my father's passing, which my dad died in 1976. So he's been gone for the majority of my life. And it normally doesn't affect me that much. And I would say that it didn't even affect me this year, except I was in an incredibly bad mood all day on Thursday. And I don't know if it's because in the back of my mind, like every time somebody said February 2nd, I was like, that's the day my dad died, you know? I don't know, but I was in a bad mood all day on Thursday. Friday was a good day. After work, I met Stacy and the two older kids at a spaghetti factory, which is kind of tasty restaurant. We had dinner and then we went to a play. We saw a musical called Riding the Cyclone, I think. It was interesting. It was very well done. It was very enjoyable to watch. It was kind of interesting. It was a kind of a new musical. It was the California debut of it. But I enjoyed it. It was a preview night. So I guess they have 2 weeks of preview. And it's a full house, but it was also a full house of friends of the actors, which means that it was a very responsive audience, but sometimes almost like too responsive. I don't know if that makes any sense, but having done theater a long time, theater kids are wild and very appreciative of their friends, which is great. But as an audience member, sometimes I felt like, okay, it wasn't that good. Like it didn't like that number didn't require the wolf whistles and the wild applause and that kind of thing. You knew you were there with friends of the actors rather than genuine like theater goers who were just enjoying the experience. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I did enjoy it. It was just, I don't know if it was something that I would like rush to see again as far as the story. It was interesting. It's like 6 teenagers who are kind of in a purgatory after a roller coaster accident, and they basically are playing a carnival game with this Karnak machine, and the prize being that one of them gets to return. So it was interesting, and it was actually, the music was really good and the actors were extremely talented. So it was fun night. But then when I got home on Friday night, I got home at a normal time, like 10:30, time you'd expect to get home after a play. And I went to bed, normal time, and I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, which never happens, and I was awake. Like I couldn't go back to sleep. So I actually got up, turned on the TV, watched some TV for like an hour or so, and I think I finally fell asleep again around 5. Had a pretty normal day yesterday, and then last night I had been kind of like grazing for dinner. I had like a frozen dinner early, and then I was snacking, and something that I ate did not agree with me because all of a sudden I was really sick. I definitely had food poisoning. Was really sick. And so today I'm going to be, having the 7-Up and crackers all day. I feel fine as far as like, I'm definitely not like sick. Like I don't have a fever. I don't feel sick. I'm sore because I was violently ill last night. But it was obviously just like a food poisoning or something that I just had to get out of my system. But I'm feeling a little like worn out right now. So it's definitely going to be a take it easy kind of day. I have a grocery order coming because I ordered some more 7-Up and some oyster crackers to munch on because I'm hungry. Like my stomach feels empty, but I don't really want to eat anything that would be any kind of harsh on my stomach. So I'm going to stick to crackers today, and I have some applesauce. And then later tonight, if I feel a little better, then maybe I'll have some soup or something. But it's just, like I said, it's just been a weird week. So hopefully next week will be more normal. On that note, I did want to tell you guys that next Sunday's video might be later than normal. Only because I'm going over to Aaron and Stacy's next weekend. Saturday is their wedding anniversary, and I did tell them, if they want to go out Saturday and go out all night, I'll be there. So I don't know if they're planning to just go out to dinner or something, or if they're going to actually go out and stay out. I don't know if they're going to get a hotel room or whatever. But I'm gonna be with the kids, and depending on what happens Saturday, usually I get up and I leave at like 7:30 on Sunday to get here in time and do my video as normal. But I might not leave that early on Sunday, just because if the kids and I are kind of having like a slumber party and stay up really late, I don't know if I'm gonna feel like getting up and moving that early. So I mean, I'm definitely coming home Sunday, but if I don't come home until early afternoon, I'll do my video late, and then, you know, I don't know how long it'll take to post. So just be aware of that. It could not happen. I could decide to come home early and just everything will be normal, but just, I don't know yet. Okay. Oh, another weird thing that happened last week. I'm about to get into the crafts and stuff like that, but you guys know I spend my first 15 or so minutes chit-chatting. I know some people do it at the end because they're like, hey, if you don't want to hear life stuff, then now you can leave. I guess I feel like you're a captive audience, and you're on my channel to visit with me and see my stuff. So that's how I did it. Anyway, something weird that happened. You guys saw at the end of the year last year, I stitched and finished Sweet William. And I said a couple times that I had promised the chart to a friend of mine, Dawn Duval, who admired the pattern but wasn't gonna buy it because she's allergic to wool. So wool acrylic floss, so she can't handle that stuff. It will make her, I don't know what I'll do. It'll probably make her itch. She said it's not that bad that I like can't, you know, I'm gonna put little samples. But anyway, I had promised the chart to her. And then like I guess the second to the last time before I stitched it, all of a sudden I couldn't find the key. And I'm like, great, I promised this to somebody and now I can't find the key. It's a separate page from the chart and the cover, and I couldn't find it. I thought, okay, did it fall behind my bed or like underneath the mattress or something? I could not find it. I mean, you know that I finished stitching it at the middle of December, so this is February already. It's been like 6 weeks. So I was in the bathroom sometime last week, and my bathroom's kind of messy. I've got stuff all over the counter, and a couple of things like fell on the floor, and I went to go pick them up, and I kind of glanced at it when I picked it up. It was a piece of paper. I was going to throw it away. I looked at it, and I'm like, this is the key that I've been looking for 6 weeks. How did it get in my bathroom? When did I carry it into the bathroom? It's still a complete mystery. So I found it, which is great. I told Dawn, I got her info so I can mail this to her next week, but I just thought that was funny. So, I mean, do you guys do anything crazy like that? I think what happened was, it was probably like when I stitched it was probably on my bed, and I had ordered a new toothbrush, and so I think I probably like gathered stuff up to take into the bathroom, and that ended up getting gathered. But it basically sat there on my counter for 6 weeks while I was searching for it, and there it was. Okay. I'm done. I'm done with all the chit chat, and I will now get into showing you what I worked on this week. I don't have any paper stuff to show you. I didn't do anything extra with cutting anything for the papers, but I did do a little bit of diamond painting this week. As I've told you, I'm kind of like doing these little stickers, just for fun, as something else to do, and then also they'll probably get incorporated into my my journals. But this past week I just worked on a few of these cat ones. So I don't want to take, because that's still sticky, but I finished this one and that one, and yeah, just, you know, having kind of fun, just doing a little bit of relaxing diamond painting. And I have all these stickers to do, so I'm enjoying that. Okay. So, what did I work on this week? I have 2 new stars. I didn't have any finishes, which I'm not gonna for a couple weeks at least. But I did start on the Be My Own Valentine project. the chart I'm using is called B Sampler. And I pulled my own flosses for it. They match with the one I did last year. And I recharted. So this says to be or not to be. And I'm recharting it to say be my own Valentine. And there's always baggy hair on everything. And that's how far I got. Now I have two greens. So this is a darker green than this one. And the darker green is supposed to be like the vein in the leaf. And when I stitched it, when they're that close together, you can't see the difference at all. So I took kind of a golden brown and I just stitched over that veining. And I think it's gonna be fine. So that's how far I got with that one. Just as a reminder, this is the one I did last year. So they're gonna look good like together, and I think that they might go in a journal or something. I think you guys can tell just by how I deal with stuff that I'm definitely more process than project stitcher. I always say I'm like 75% process, 25% project, because I stitch on the projects that I have an interest in and that I would want to have somewhere in my home, and I do want to get them completed. So in other words, I'm not the kind of person that, oh, I could start 150 things knowing that I'm never going to get most of them done just for the enjoyment of stitching on them. I do want to get stuff done. But when I get it done, then it can sit there for like 2 years and it doesn't bother me. So, and then the other new start I had was Forget-Me-Nots, which is my next Riolis kit. I have to be careful again because I did the same thing with this key. Yeah, I had the key taped, or I cut the key out because the key is on the same, in this case it's on the same piece of, it's attached to the pattern. But I fold up my patterns and I need tape. I fold up my patterns. Here we go. And I didn't want to have to unfold it every time I wanted to see the key. So I cut the key out, and I didn't have tape where I was stitching. So I just needle mindered it to my project, but I'm going to actually tape it to the back of my floss holder while I'm thinking about it here. Of course, do it on camera so that it's completely awkward. Okay. Okay, so I'm working on Forget-Me-Nots. This is, see, I cut the key out and just put it on the back of my floss card or drop or whatever. I took the flosses off of the wrap thing that they were on because that was like the one thing that I didn't enjoy doing Sweet William is I'm not a bobbinator. I don't like that unwrapping the stuff. I'm definitely a floss drop kind of person. So I thought that might work better for me. So I just got that much of a start. I have a feeling this is gonna go pretty fast though. So those are my 2 new starts this week. As far as whip goes, because the first couple days of the week were still January, I did work on a couple January projects. Not that I can't pull anything out and work on anything, but you know, I do have these themes and I'm enjoying them. So I worked on cat collage and basically all of this. This is a Designworks kit, Laurel Birch's cat collage. And as I said before, I still really love it, but I am disappointed that the flosses are not anywhere near as bright as they are in the cover photo. They're still really pretty, but they're definitely more subdued. And I don't know if that's just the kit that I happen to get, or if they'd all be like that. I have no idea. I worked a little bit on Pinkie and Blue Boy, which are charted by Artecy. What did I just drop? So, Pinkie by Thomas Blue Boy by Thomas Gainsborough, Pinkie by Thomas Lawrence. And I'm stitching these together on the same piece of fabric so that they grow at the same rate. And then when they're done, then I'll cut them apart and frame them separately, but together still, because they're always displayed together. Okay, so last time you saw it, I had like half the most recent diagonal done on Pinkie and nothing, and I didn't have that diagonal started on Blue Boy, so I finished both of them. And I mean, definitely we're still in the background, which I think it's kind of funny because Pinkie so far is all blue, and Blue Boy, the background is all like reds and browns. But these are pretty small-ish charts. I mean, obviously, you know, Pinkie's gonna go to here. So, I should get into the main part of the, you know, the people. Not that long from now. And that's being done on a 28 count Jazlyn, 2/1 half stitch. Jazlyn is a little bit fuzzier, I'm finding, than regular Lugana, but it still is working fine. I kind of, you know, I have to pay a little bit more attention, but these are pretty simple patterns, to be quite honest. And then the other full coverage I worked on this week was Mini Flower Kitty. And just move down the diagonal from about this area. I wanted to get it done, but again, I was a little too ambitious with my time. Maybe I'll finish this diagonal today. But I do want to work on, I kind of want to work on my chatelaine today, so. Okay, then I worked, on Mouth of the Flower by Octavio Ocampo. I started this very early in my stitching career, early in the, in 2019. I'm doing it on a 16 count Touch of Peach Aida. And I think when I started, I haven't worked on it a ton. I think when I started it, it felt like very complicated. When I was stitching it, this week it was like, oh, this is going really fast. So, you know, it could just be a perception thing based on what my experience was at the time. But I did all this, which is, I guess, actually the eyebrow leaf. Now, one thing I will say about this pattern, did I show it close? One thing I will say about this chart, and it's sort of a plea to any designers out there, that when you're charting stuff, be like wary of your symbols, because the thing is there's a billion symbols that you can choose from, and I don't see any reason for when you're charting something. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you a little bit of this chart. Okay, is it gonna focus? I don't see any reason why when you're charting something that's very dense stitching like this, that you have to pick like 4 symbols that are all very similar. Like this one has a X, which is like this, and then it has a symbol that is the same as the X, but half of one leg isn't there. So it's kind of like a weird Y. And they're all right next to each other. And then there's M's, which is also 3, you know, lines. It's like, there would be a way to do it so that all of the symbols are not exactly the same next to each other. And I think that it would be nice if designers would be cognizant of that, to make it not quite as confusing when you're stitching. The last thing I worked on this week was Autumn Equinox Pixie by Bella Filipina. Have you guys seen, I'm on a Facebook group that, you know, is a Bella Filipina Facebook group, and I don't go on Facebook very often, but I happened to be on, and they were like showing what the new release is going to be, which it's not in the stores yet, but it is the Phoenix Queen. Oh my God, she is so gorgeous. I know, like, I mean, it's a taste thing, right? Some people, when the new McGuane came out, they were like, oh my God, I have to have her. I was like, oh, she's pretty, but whatever. But this, the Phoenix Queen, I already put a thing in 123 Stitch, notify me when it's ready, because I need that one. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. Okay, so I worked on my Pixie. I did beading, actually. I did a little bit of regular stitching on it, but mostly I did beading. So, I did this whole thing. I did all the beading on this. I did all of the beading in this one and this one. And then I stitched this. Oh, and I did that beading too, so. So, she's so pretty. It cracks me up now to think that I had her as my must be finished, or try to finish at the end of last year, because I realized just how much is left on her to do. I do think she will get done this year. But yeah. Oh, and I did some beading down here as well in these little leaves. So all of those beads were added. So yes, that was my stitching for the week. Not bad. I mean, considering I didn't stitch it all on Friday because I wasn't home. So yes, so okay, haul. I do have a little bit to show you. I got from eBay a lot of 4 just cross stitch magazines. I was in a mood to try magazines. I actually got a just cross stitch magazine subscription. I mean, I don't know when I'm gonna get the first one. It says it could take 6 weeks. My feeling is and I've always felt like the magazines were maybe not worth it because there's not that much stuff in them that I am excited to stitch. But I realize there's a lot of designers that are, you know, really popular designers that do have designs, and just Craft Stitch has, you know, has some good stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm not interested in. But my question to you guys is, I know that Michelle used to do a weekly or whatever giveaway of you know, magazine pages from, you know, magazines she sent or whatever, and she would take out the pages that had the cover photo and the stitching, and then she just put them in a regular envelope with a regular stamp and mail them out to the winner. So I would like to know what the interest is in that, if that's something that you guys would be interested in general, me doing that, because I have about 5 or 6 magazines that I have had. I've always kind of been a little bit loath to tear them apart, but then again, they take up room, and if I'm never going to stitch something, and I know that I'm never going to stitch it, why keep it? So anyway, so let me know what you guys think, because when I get these magazines, I mean, obviously I'll go through them, and I probably won't like rip them up to start with, but if there's not really anything in them that I want, then either I'll give away the whole magazine, or, you know, I was thinking that I could do the, you know, taking out the patterns and just mailing them, and just a regular stamp is not a big hardship. But anyway, so I was kind of in this magazine mood, and I ordered the subscription, but then I went onto eBay, and there was a lot of 4 magazines for like, I don't know, I think it was $15 or something. And this one was the top one that was showing, and I really like her. So that's why I got it, because I do definitely want to stitch her eventually. I just think she's really cute. And this magazine is from October 2021, so it's not that long ago. I'm looking to see who the designer of this one is. Oh, it's Doreen Jones. So I never stitched Doreen Jones, but I think she's so pretty. I don't know about wanting to do the jack-o'-lanterns. Maybe I turn them into just regular pumpkins. But I just really like her. So anyway, I did want to stitch her. But there's lots of things like a sampler like this. Like, I'm never, ever going to stitch it, but I know there's a lot of people who really like this type of thing. So is that something that you might want to, you know, just get the pattern and not have the magazine? And then, like, this is a really nice, you know, pattern, but I would never stitch it. So, yeah. So let me know. Let me know what your interest is in that. So I got this one, which, again, there's a chart that I definitely want to stitch. I got this one, and I am actually really interested in stitching this. This is a Joan Elliott mermaid. But there's lots of really cute things in here that I wouldn't stitch. There's a whole section of Christmas ornaments, and of course I'm never going to stitch those, so I could give that whole section to somebody. Oh, it's in this one. Christmas ornament preview in this one. So the one that Joan Elliott was June of 2017. This one is August 2021. There's a lot of Christmas ornaments in this one, and I don't know that there's much else that I'm super interested in, so maybe I would just give away this whole magazine. And then this is from October 2014, and it's an autumn one. You know, and sometimes it's just kind of fun to look through these magazines and, you know, see if there's anything that sparks your fancy. I guess back in 2014 they didn't show all of the patterns on the one page in the back. But anyway, so let me know. Let me know if you'd be interested in getting magazine charts, you know, that were separated from the magazine. The other thing that I ordered this week, this is a kind of funny thing, but I actually was a little bit excited about it. So, I've showed you guys, actually, I stitched on this last week or the week before or something. It is my classic Pooh chart that I started kind of in honor of my dad. I stitch on it a couple times a year at this point. It's got this endless balloon. This is such a huge chart, and you know, you can see I don't even have the outline of Pooh Bear finished, and then I have to fill him in. But the reason I started this is because of this memory that I have of my dad. Whoops. And him reading me the story, the Winnie the Pooh story, and the whole thing. I said this before, I'm sorry if it's a repeat, was that in the book it says that he falls into a prickle bush and he gets up and he's wiping prickles off his nose. And I was like 7 or something when he read it to me, and I was just like cracking up. And so it was kind of our little joke about the pickles on the nose. And somebody, when I was talking about this, somebody had, you know, sent me a comment and said something about I should stitch like a pickle on the thing. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. But I thought it would be cute to just get a little pickle charm and like maybe hang it from the balloon or something. It doesn't necessarily make sense within the story, but it makes sense for me and my memory. So I went ahead and did that. Now you can get pickle charms very easily because of the whole Christmas pickle thing. So I got this little pickle charm. It's metal, and I'm gonna, when the chart is done, I'm gonna like hang it from like the balloon, or yeah, I think probably from the balloon, like right there. But I just love that, and I love the meaning that it has for me and the memory of my dad and stuff. So I know it's silly. And I'm sure that when I get this done in 1,000 years, and if I hang it up and anybody sees it, they're going to be like, what is that green thing? And then, but then I'll tell them the story. Okay, so that was it for haul. I did order a couple charts from 123 Stitch on a whim. I don't need them, but and they aren't here yet. I did get a nice little email from 123 Stitch that apparently they had some kind of blizzard or something. I don't know, some kind of weather thing, and they were like locked out of their warehouse. So although normally they are so good about mailing out stuff like immediately, it took about a week for them to send it. So I think it has been sent now. But I think I should have it next week to show you guys the two charts. One is a Joan Elliott. Are they both Joan Elliott? No, I don't remember. I know one's a Joan Elliott. They're both fancy ladies. Yeah, I think they're both Joan Elliott, I think. Anyway, so I will be able to show you those next week. I haven't ever stitched a Joan Elliott. I'm planning on in September. I have the Poppy Fairy, and I'm going to start that in September because September is Veterans Day, right? Veterans Day in September? I don't know. I just know that in September, the Jewish war veterans would always be outside the grocery stores, and they always gave you those little paper poppies. And yeah, so I think Poppy Fairy would be a great one to start then. My plans, more of the same. Basically, I'm doing my floral stuff next week, and when I do get a notice from 123 Stitch that the Phoenix Queen is available to purchase, I'm definitely going to get her. I don't think I'm going to get any of the supplies, maybe the beads, because I'm starting to get paranoid that you're not going to be able to get the beads. But yeah, I just want that pattern. She's so pretty. She's all like hot pink and orange wings, and she's just really pretty. And yeah, so I think that's it. I think today, I mean, I'm gonna take it easy today because my stomach is just feeling off. Not like I'm going to be sick, just like I was. And so I'm going to take it easy today and rest. And I think I'm going to stitch on my green lace mandala today, because I haven't stitched on that in a couple weeks and I'm kind of missing it. So you will see the progress on that next week. Again, next week might be a late video. I will still do one, but it might be late later in the day, or it might show up Monday. I mean, I don't know, but just I'm fine. That the reason is because I'm just not gonna be home Sunday morning, maybe. Yeah, and then the weekend after that we have our Zoom. So until I see you again, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye bye.